welcome to the finals of the Legacy Challenge. What do you see? What do you see here? What does this look like to you? What does Marcellus Wallace look like? You see what looks like a potential, quite likely turn to kill. What's the problem? The problem is we are on the draw. We don't know what we are up against, but like this hand is looking really good. But what we are about to witness is probably the biggest, hardest, ruthless destruction I have experienced in years. Maybe it's exaggerated by this being a final, so it's even more important, but I can clearly say it's been a while since I've been destroyed like this, which is unfortunate because yada yada, what if, whatever. It's just like I opened this hand in the finals and I felt like, whoa, am I gonna be up 1-0 soonish? So let's see what happens. I don't remember the details, but I remember some of the things, and let's just see what happens here. Did he? No. Okay. Thought he had something. So here we go. Opponent Scalding Tarn. Scalding Tarn is the worst land to see when you're playing Elves. Scalding Tarn never or hardly ever leads into something you want to see, except for Grixis Delver, I guess. Otherwise, Scalding Tarn is played a lot in, combo decks and stuff. So let's see. Underground Sea. Like, if it's Storm, I'm still feeling okay. Because, like, a turn 2 kill against Storm is okay. Deathrite Shaman, Underground Sea, Deathrite Shaman, now I'm feeling really good. I'm gonna play one of my Nettle Sentinels here. Just put it, even like if he discards the Glimpse or counters it, we are gonna have a decent offense. So, I mean, what's the worst that could happen here? Yeah, exactly, that happens. What's the worst that could happen? Like, the moment he adds green to his mana pool here, I'm like, oh, please, no. Because Leovold blanks this, and he blanks the double offense. It's the perfect card to play here. It's so annoying. And especially in the first game where I can't get rid of Leovold, this means I have to find Behemoth or at least Senate, and that's going to be really hard. But, okay. Let's just keep playing. Oh, Heritage Shield. Okay. At least now we can play our entire hand. And that makes Senate live again for the next turn. So if you can draw Senate or Behemoth or, I don't know, Natural Order, that would be pretty good. And it's so annoying because Leovold is so good. That's actually our only path to victory in the first game. We need to hardcast one of the big guys because on the ground, like turn 1 Deathrite Shaman to turn 2 Leovold, as common as you might think it doesn't really happen all that much, at least not against me. And when it does happen in the first game, it's hard. But at least, yeah, you still have some outs, but it is hard. What helps us is that, obviously, this is Czech Pile. Czech Pile doesn't really play a lot of Wastelands or any Wastelands at all. So we just get down a bunch of 2/2s. In my head, I'm thinking, hey, maybe I can just get there with like regular beatdown, like throwing my creatures at Leovold repeatedly, Sauron style. But, okay, let's see how this goes from here. The game isn't over quickly, even though it felt like it was over the moment Leovold came down. So I'm like, okay, maybe some beatdown. I was like, no, Toxic Deluge. Forget about that, like hardcast Behemoth, hardcast Senate, hardcast Natural Order, what have you. I play main deck Toxic Deluge and I'm gonna wreck you. And it's especially tragic because, like, in Elves you usually try to play around that stuff, but Leovold makes it so that you can't really, and honestly in the first game I also wouldn't really. But yeah, he plays that main deck Toxic Deluge and that got us pretty bad. But okay. We will play what we have, and he's only got 3 cards in hand right now. Maybe he's gonna play a land on the next turn and like something useless, and maybe he doesn't have Force of Will. Maybe we can get there with our land, and no, also that's not okay. But that's okay. Like at this point, we are only playing for the top deck anyway. So what can we draw? Quirion Ranger, okay. Quirion Ranger makes it so that we got next turn we got 10 mana. No, 7 mana. Yeah, next turn we got 7 mana. 4, 5, 6, 7. That's still not good enough, but it's pretty close. And opponent's sitting on 2 cards. Maybe he doesn't have Force of Will. It's super likely he has Force of Will, but maybe he doesn't. I can block with Droid Arbor and bounce, and I'm gonna do that. because it doesn't stop us from casting Natural Order next turn, and we don't have enough mana to hardcast Behemoth anyway. So I think that's a fair play. Of course, we get... Well, I can't even say punished. I mean, if he has him here, I would actually be okay, because that means there's no Force of Will, and if I draw Natural Order... Oh, my headphones are running out of power, but I guess I won't need them. Yeah, I won't need them, actually. So... Okay, let's just pass. And what does he have? He has Kolaghan's Command, which is... It's worse. It's worse than if he had him, because now we're guaranteed to not be able to cast Natural Order the next time. Because at this point I was like, okay, we win by drawing Natural Order. So what does he not... Like, we don't need him to have Natural Order, to have Force of Will. Okay, I'm like, oh, he doesn't have Force of Will, but now we can't. So, had we not bounced the Dryad Arbor and drawn Natural Order, we would have been able to resolve Natural Order next turn. And as stupid as it sounds, but a 5-5 is actually pretty good when your opponent only has like a 3-3. So, that's something I was thinking about at the time. I was like, what if he like has Kolaghan's Command and he's just like making it an attack to get some value and hopefully like get us to discard. Oh, I'm getting weird noises out of these. I'm shutting them off. So it's so annoying because I was trying to draw a Natural Order to get there, and I was aware that if I bounce the Dryad Arbor, it could be a problem, but maybe he doesn't have, as we call it, everything, like a series case of everything. Maybe he doesn't have Kolaghan's Command. Of course he has Kolaghan's Command. And I'm just gonna press play and actually draw Natural Order. Had I not bounced it, I would have gotten my 5-5 and attacked for 6, get him down to 9, and yeah, the game wouldn't be over, and we would still play the game, but at least I would play the game. But yeah, now I got this useless Natural Order that I'm very far away from ever casting. So let's pass the turn. But yeah, I mean, there's a chance that I could get there. Like the Senate for Quirion Ranger would be pretty nice. Just something that gets me there. Also, like... Oh, see, it's Senate. It's actually Senate. I'm not even sure if I get Quirion Ranger here. I might also get Deathwatch Champ, but I think Quirion Ranger is the more likely card to be good here. Now I'm curious, because I don't remember. I get Deathwatch Champ. Okay, that's fair. Deathwatch Champ at least somewhat slows down his clock. But guess what he has? Fucking Kolaghan's Command. Takes out the Natural Order as well. I'm like, okay, back to the Stone Age. So I'm like, what can I do? It's gonna be really tough. He's got Leovold beating me down to 7. End of turn I got down to 5, but at least I get to survive maybe. I even draw Violet Symbiote, which should have been so great here had he not had the Leovold. By the way, I'm not salty. I'm just like, I'm having fun because I've never been destroyed like this. I feel like this is good because it blocks Leovold, even though I don't get to draw an extra card. It gets me back to like 4, at least almost 4 mana. And hey, maybe I can draw another anything, Deathwatch Shaman, and slowly turn the game around, because then I got Deathwatch Shaman superiority. No, he has Snapcaster into the 3rd Kolaghan's Command, taking out the Quirion, the Visionary, and making me discard the Symbiote. Talk about destruction. Talk about getting destroyed like I haven't been destroyed in a very long time. Like that was pretty rough, especially considering like the high upside of me seeing my opening hand and being like, this is gonna be great. No, this is gonna be one of, I can't call it a worst game. It was a really good game, really interesting game. And you might argue that bouncing that Dryad Arbor was actually a mistake, and I could see, considering that my only out was natural. On the other hand, now that I think about it, so obviously he would have then Kolaghan's commanded on my draw step. So I would have discarded the forest, but then I would have lost the Quirion Ranger, and then I would have had 3 mana anyway, so I guess it didn't matter too much. Yeah, actually, if I'm suspecting Kolaghan's command, I think then I still shouldn't bounce the Dryad Arbor, because then I at least can maybe draw another land on the next turn. But yeah, point in case, I felt utterly destroyed, especially after opening my hand where that looked so promising. But yeah, there's still a next game. So let's see how that worked out. My sideboarding should be pretty similar to how it did before. Yeah, I'm bringing in 3 Abrupt Decays, the Ooze, and 3... No, what did I bring in? Looks weird. Oh, the 2 Chokes and Pretenders. So no Thoughtseize shenanigans, just straight take out the Nettle Sentinels because I have to take out something. And roll with that, and hopefully trying to get like a really early natural order for Progenitors, because that deck really only plays 4 Fossilfields that can stop that, and that isn't plenty. It's like a 40% chance, and there's even a chance to take out some of them. So here, you've watched my videos before, you know exactly what I'm gonna do here. What is he up to? Neo's a fair card. So I'm totally gonna accelerate here. And then I might even like just glimpse into a Visionary just to make sure I draw enough cards to get there even if Natural Order gets countered. And make good use of my second turn. Because if you don't really do much on your second turn, it looks kind of suspicious. Also, like, these 2 draw cards. And if he had played Deathwatch Shaman and then threatened Leovold in the next turn, then these 2 would be kind of deadish. So here, I think I'm good. Yeah, not surprised that I do that. Also, like, with the thought in the back of my head that he might force a fill this, making it more likely for Natural Order to resolve. And even if he doesn't, I still get to draw 2 cards here, which is great. He doesn't, and I just draw the extra cards. And pass. Even hit another glimpse. Yeah, okay, this is weird. He just takes out the lightning bolt. I was like, what is he fetching for here if he doesn't get a second black for him? And Heritage Druid. Now there's even a chance that we can Natural Order this turn, assuming that Glimpse resolves and I draw into exactly what I need. Which I've been known to at times, but let's see. Nettle Sentinel maybe? Oh, okay. Doesn't always work that way. Just get in for 1. And at this point I really hope that he just like taps out for Leovold or something. And it looks like him. No, okay. He hits the Natural Order, which is annoying, but we also find another Krater Hoof. And with this guy getting a Dryad Arbor next turn, we can actually hardcast that Krater Hoof. So, 1 more turn of hoping that he doesn't hit him. Like, if he has Snapcaster here, it's super annoying Snapcaster into him, but... I mean, there are certain draws that you need to lose to. It's not like you can always win, and you have to accept that. Liliana, once again, is annoying because she might stop us from getting to Krater Hoof next turn. She's not guaranteed to stop us, because if we find another 1-mana elf, we can still get there. So let's see. 1-mana elf? Yes, there it is. Oof, there it is. And then we got 6, 8, and we attack for 12. And I wonder whether I'm gonna direct everything at the opponent or it's gonna take out Liliana. Ouch. He's got 3 cards. I might just send the... Oh no, it's more. I'm stupid. It's 9 and 5. It's 14. Yeah, I'm gonna take him down to 1 for sure. I forgot to account for that we are not natural ordering, but actually hardcasting the Behemoth. Taking him down to 1 seems like a no-brainer. He can't Toxic, he can't Force, he can't Fetch. Yeah. And with that, we are off to the final game of the Legacy Challenge. Number 3 in this month, or something. Did I change my sideboarding? No, I stuck to the same. And this game is gonna take a while. At least it felt like when I was reporting. Like, I was always like live reporting it to the Discord channel as it happened. And people got super excited. Some of them even told me they stopped watching some SCG or something that was going on just to get the live reports and the live screenshots from that. So that was kind of cool. Okay, this hand. What would you do? I mean, I'm not expecting an answer here. YouTube is kind of like a one-way medium, at least at the time until the thing comes out. I like this hand. Honestly, if you got this hand on a mulligan to 6 with other Progenitors, you would instant keep and feel like you hit a good one. You got Acceleration, half the best friends team, and a potentially problematic card, and Cradle. Like, Cradle, I've mentioned it a couple of times, but Cradle is just so important. Good luck, you too. He keeps 7, no Deathwatch Shaman, no Deathwatch Shaman. We hit another Deathwatch Shaman, which is never bad. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident that I can get a Bayou. Yeah, I end up getting the Bayou. And here I just hope that I'm gonna draw either Visionary or Wirewood Symbiote. Even Glimpse wouldn't be the worst here. Like, we could cash in for Glimpse for 2 draws. He gets him. Unfortunately, doesn't hit Progenitus. I even remember telling the chat that like, oh yeah, it's no problem. We'll just get him and discard Progenitus. No, he takes the Cradle. It's so painful. I wanted the Cradle so much. It's still not the end of the world though. I think I run out the... Yeah, I do end up running out the Scavenging Ooze, partially also because it's like good against Liliana of the Last Hope, and also puts pressure on him. And when I feel like my hand is weak, and I probably can't play the long game very well, I think I really like putting pressure on my opponent as much as I can, so he gets like into this defensive position where he feels like he has to cast stuff like Abrupt Decay, or, I don't know, like Leovold wouldn't even be good here. Unfortunately, he has the exact card he needs to take out the Ooze. This is, of course, the trade-off that we are entering if we play the Ooze. On the other hand, had he destroyed the Deathrite Shaman, then we would play Ooze next turn, but yeah, we might be able to activate it, but it's not very likely like, if we draw a land. On the upside, we get to discard the Progenitus. So now, let me see, I think drawing Quirion Ranger makes Quirion Ranger makes Natural Order live again, but of course we're only drawing a single card at turn 2. I was like, oh, if we... Oh, no, but if we get Quirion Ranger off the Green Sun Senate, then we have exactly 4 to... Yeah, if we draw Natural Order here, we can cast it. But we don't. At this point, I wish we had another like beefy creature in the deck that we can get with with Green Sun Senate, but we don't. But yeah, this is one of those scrappy games where you're always like scared of Leovold coming down, so your best friend's team gets shut down. So you kind of wanna like get something great. But the greatest card in the deck right now that we have is just Elvish Visionary, aka Elvish Griselbrand. And we hit the best friend's team. So at this point I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like he's only got 4 cards, he doesn't have a board presence. We could do this. This could actually be happening. You could make a case for bouncing this guy and replaying this guy, so you got 1 more damage on the next turn. I'm just super scared of this card. Like, if we lose this one, it's a real problem. Because then we get, like, brickwalled by any kind of creature that we can't attack past. Roadblocked, I guess, you want to say. The more lands he plays, the better I also feel, because every land play he makes is, like, 1 fewer card that we have to worry about. Lightning Bolt is annoying, but what can you do? Interestingly, oh yeah, I didn't do it at the time. I was considering bouncing this guy, but eventually decided against it because this just looked so much like him. And I felt like if I got him here, that's worse than keeping this guy around, because at least as long as this guy stays in play, I can draw another Visionary, another Symbiote, another Senate. I really don't want to run into him here. And what does he play? I think he doesn't play him. Yeah, he plays Baleful Strix, which I'm sometimes surprised it's still in the deck post-board, but it's okay. So here we've got this interesting decision of, do we take out the Baleful Strix and try to attack, or do we play for the long game? And I'm really not sure. I'm getting the Heritage Druid into play. I'm pretty sure I'm passing here. I was not attacking because I really want to make the top deck live. The fact that he plays the 5th land makes me feel that he has Force of Will. And it turns out we don't know whether he actually had him or not, or whether he drew it for the turn of the Strix, but I've got this feeling that he might have had him last turn and decided against it and just ran out the Baleful Strix there. So somewhat fortunate for us, we get to like blank the him, but it's not great because we're blanking the him by killing a creature we didn't really want to kill anyway. I guess if he doesn't play a creature here, we would have killed the Strix anyway, because we want to get in for attacks. But yeah, it's not the end of the world, but losing the Deathrite Gem here is annoying, because it also like turns off Natural Order in case we draw it. And we don't draw it, okay. Once again, I'm passing here and just attacking with these 2 guys. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm not attacking with the Visionary. You can see how much emphasis I'm putting on getting the best friends team online. It's just so important. Like every extra card draw you can get out of that can be a game changer. These games are super scrappy, and if you draw like 2 cards and your opponent only draws like 1 card, and next turn you once again draw 2 cards and he draws 1 card, it's such a world of difference. you've got such heavy-hitting cards, especially when you keep a natural order postboard, and they usually can't, like, if they have Force of Will and they have to sit behind Force of Will, they often get eaten up by these guys, like random beats. And if they don't have Force of Will and commit to something like that, then your top deck natural order is gonna hit a lot harder because they don't have Force of Will. They can't have their cake and eat it too, you know. Deathrite Shaman is super annoying here, but fortunately for us, we have the decay. And at this point, we got perfect information. Oh, I mean, obviously we have perfect information since the opponent has no cards in hand and nothing on board. So on a board like this, I'm not even that happy to draw Choke. I would have rather drawn Visionary. I might have even rather drawn Deathrite because it's a quicker clock. So yeah, I wish he had not taken out that right hour, so we could have choked him here, but it wouldn't be that great. But considering that the game starts to entering this super scrappy phase, taking out his lands one by one would have certainly been nice. Just hope that he doesn't draw the... I can't call it the best card. Like, Chase would have probably been much better, but Deathrite certainly is annoying here. We now find a third land to finally cast a Choke. It's not gonna have the impact that you want it to have, but in this matchup, it's usually... Like, this is not the matchup you have this in your sideboard for. You've got this for Grixis Delver, you've got this for stuff like Miracles, Stoneblade, and yes, also to bring it in here, but if I wanted to have heavy hitters in this matchup, I would probably rather have Nissa. Or, yeah, again, not really Sylvan Library, it's better against Leovold. Pendelhaven, so this is like, see this kind of back and forth? I remember in the chat, I was like, the only card, like one of the few cards I really want to draw here, except for the cards you talked about before, Vivod, Symbiote and stuff, I was like, oh, you found Deathrite Shaman, okay, maybe I can draw Pendelhaven. And then I draw and it's like, it's Pendelhaven, and I type it in the chat and they're like, oh my god, Pendelhaven. Even though like it doesn't really change all that much, he still gets to gain 2 life and lose 2 life a turn. It's something. It not only like negates the Shaman for a while, it also like casts Natural Order if we draw it, and since we're on a top deck war, Natural Order would be great here. And even if I draw Natural Order and he has to hardcast Force of Will, then it takes out like almost all of his lands. It's really, really good. So I felt pretty ecstatic about the Pendelhaven. And then when the opponent played a land, I was also like, okay, this is great. He's got another card in hand, which is probably Force of Will. Yes, I mean, there's not a lot of cards that he would hold back in his hand, but it's also weird that he... so yeah, the fact that he played the Badlands, I think, makes it even more likely that it's Force of Will. Because he wants to like hardcast it by tapping these and then still have maybe this available if he needs to. Unfortunately, the Smurf Forest is nothing. That's a blank. But yeah, we just get in, negate this, and then we feel, hey, maybe we can draw Natural Order, maybe we can draw Natural Order, and then he draws Chase, which is like the blue Natural Order. It's like, ah. This was the first time in the match where I felt like, maybe I will lose this. Maybe this won't happen. Then he played the fetch land, and I once again felt good because I could get Natural Order. But yeah. Here I'm really hoping to either draw Natural Order, Senate, or the Insect. These are the cards I'm looking for. And I draw Cradle. Mana. I'm pretty sure I play the Cradle. I don't. I'm pretty sure I should play the Cradle. I don't want to be hymned for it. I attack Chase, yeah. I deal 2 to Chase, goes down to 1. I play the Cradle as I predicted myself to do. And now I really need him to whiff, and he doesn't. He kills it right away, wisely, so I can't like Natural Order it away. And then the second Deathrite Shaman, and we're slowly getting to a point where like there's no return. He even gets to attack with the Deathrite Shaman now because he doesn't want to tap that. Glimpse gives me a little bit of hope in case he doesn't have Force of Will, and I can like chain together something, but I need to draw something now because next turn I will die to this. He puts the card on top, which is horrible for me because now I know that I will probably lose this game. And I draw a second Glimpse, and the game ends. I play it just to like be cute, and here we go. So that was my legacy challenge. We went something like 8-2 in the end, only losing 2 games to Czech pile, which is, I don't want to say expected because I still feel Elves is slightly favored there in the current configuration. But yeah, dropping those 2 Nissas, definitely made a difference, I feel. Like, the card is so good in the matchup, and can you imagine how good it would have been on this board, if it had resolved, of course. And yeah. I kind of like, I feel I should say something about defending my choice to still go for Progenitus, but I think I've talked long and wide in my other videos about that. But the main reason is that I really like having this default button of, hey, I gotcha against these Chalice decks and against these land decks and also against some random shit. And that's why I felt so good about Progenitus lately, and also about the extra mana acceleration you get when you run a Progenitus build of like having those 2 extra Llanowar Elves. And that came in super handily, both at MKM Rome, and I also felt like it was quite good here. Like, if you follow my videos, you know how much I love mana acceleration, how highly I rate it. And that's just where I want to be. I'm thinking about maybe making some changes to the sideboard to address the Czech pile matchup a little bit more again. But it's kind of hardish, because the way you address the Czech pile matchup is to add more heavy hitters, which usually cost a lot more mana. And that's not always easy, because when you already have Natural Order and Nissa and stuff, and you add extra costs, you have to cut something. And if you add expensive spells and you cut Llanowar Elves, it feels clunky. So you have to. That's why when I ran 2 Nissas, I also only ran like 2 Natural Orders, and not 3 or 4 or something, because it felt just too clunky. But lately I've been thinking about doing this thing that I really don't want to tinker with too much, because it can get dangerous where you cut like Nettle Sentinel to add more Llanowar Elves. And I think I shouldn't go there. No, I want to keep the 4 Nettle Sentinels. It's just like, you see how often you get these turn 2 kills with Elves, and they're usually always on the back of Nettle Sentinels. But yeah, right now I'm pretty happy with where Elves is in the metagame. I don't want to like brag or anything, so I'm just gonna say that ever since I started playing Magic Online with Elves again, or Magic Online at all, because most of you know that I had a break of a couple of months when I was moving and had other stuff to do. But yeah, ever since I started doing that again, it definitely showed in the like success I had there, and so I'm feeling really good about that. And it also feels kind of goodish that people aren't talking about Elves as a factor in the metagame too much, so it also gets a little less attention. But yeah, so if you like this, please subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at itsjulian23. Visit itsjulian.com. Support me on Patreon if you can, if you want, if you like. It's not, how would you say that, required at all, but if you do, thank you so much to the people on there who are supporting me. You guys and girls are making a difference, even if, like, you might not know, but you certainly are making a difference. Quite the difference, actually. Like, the support on Patreon I've been receiving lately actually made the difference between going to certain tournaments or not. And that's just, like, I should wear a t-shirt that has all of your names on it. You know, it would be a little creepy and weird and stuff, but you get the idea. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, unfortunately this wasn't live, as you can probably tell after these 10 rounds. But yeah, you guys, especially you guys in the Discord chat, you talk to me so much about that, and I felt like, yeah, maybe I should still do that, even though I prefer doing these things live. So I'm sorry if you expect live content. There will be live content in the future again. Now we've got 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Oh God, I wish. It's not that crazy. We've got 4 days of bank holidays in Germany, of which one day I still have to work, doing some volunteer work. But then on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I'm gonna be home. Well, not Sunday, but let's say half of Sunday, I'm gonna be home. So yeah, there will be more of that. And with that, I'm finally gonna come to a close. And what time is it? 12 minutes to 11 in the evening. I will just work on this, upload it, and then see you soon-ish. Bye-bye.